Okay, this time I'm going to go over a fun little keyboard shortcut, and if you do a lot of query tuning, this will really help you out, especially if you're a keyboard junkie like me and you don't like to touch the mouse a lot. Um, and if you've got a really long script that you're going through, you don't want to have to keep putting statements, cutting and pasting statements in and out and in and out and in and out as you crawl through to look at indexes. And of course, index uh, is just one example. But let's go ahead and get into this, and you'll see what I mean. If you want to if you want to find the indexes on a table, you can run an SP help index with the table name passed in as a parameter. But like I said, if you've got a really, really long script and you're going through one table after another, and you've got all of these tables in the SQL statements, then you have to cut that table out of the SQL statement. You have to put it into a new line. You have to put SP help index in front of it, and then you have to run it. Then you have to delete it, and then you have to go to the next one. Or you have to comment it out, and then you go to the next one. Kind of reminds you of the old days of doing on error resume next in classic ASP, right? I mean, you're just stepping through the code or trying to find when that code is bombed out. So you add the response.end to it until the page stops responding. So it's kind of cumbersome, and it's a real pain when you're doing a lot of this work, when you're doing a lot of query tuning. So I'll show you a good way to get around this. If you go to Tools and Options, you can set this up. If you go to Environment and then Keyboard, you can come down here, and you notice how I have these query shortcuts, and Alt F1 is already SP help and Control 1 is SP who, and you see how I have Control 5 here set up for SP help index. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow me, if I get rid of this and I just highlight this and then I hit Control 5, you see that's going to give me the same thing that the other one did. Here, I'm going to bring this up a little bit. There we go. So if I'm a keyboard junkie here, I'm just going to hit Control Home, Shift Home, and then Control 5, and there I get my value. Now, this doesn't work with everything. You're not going to be able to do, say, select count from STLOOKUP and then select all of this text here and specify it over here and say Control F4. You're not going to be, oops, that's wrong, and say select count star from, and then be able to do this. You just can't do that. Unfortunately, it only works with stored procedures, and it only works with stored procedures that take a single parameter. So if you wanted to do a select count like this, you could write your own procedure to do that and pass in your table as a parameter, and then use your dynamic SQL and then run dynamic SQL after you build your statement. You could do that, and even here you could run anything else that's there. Like from right here, I could run SP who, or I could run SP help on this. I could run anything I wanted to that took a single parameter that was already configured in there. Now, in Windows 2000, when you did this in Query Analyzer, all you had to do was go up to Tools and Options and then set this, and then you were ready to go. Once you clicked OK, you were ready to go. But in Yukon and Katmai, and this is the Katmai editor, you have to actually restart SMS before you do it. So after I entered this in to right here, I had to go ahead and shut down SMS and then restart it again before it would work. But then it works just fine, and you're great. Here, let me go ahead and take this out of here before I do something stupid with it. There we go. And there we go. I can hit Control 1 and get SP who. I could put Control 1 as SP who 2 or SP, or I could do Control 3 as SP who 2. And one thing that I'm a little disappointed in is I was hoping they would extend this model instead of limiting it more. But it used to go all the way up to 9, and I don't know why it doesn't go all the way up to 9 anymore. There we go. when I take it to 2000, it goes up to 9, and it's going up to 9 now. Huh. Well, it wasn't a minute ago. So good. Now we got our 9 back. And one other thing that's really cool here is you can also set this to run individual statements. So if I want to say set IO. Okay. Oops, that's not right. Set stats IO on. So I could do that for 9. And if I were doing some query tuning here and I wanted to pull my stats IO, then I would just there 9, and I'm going to have to reboot it before that'll actually work. But you can set up individual statements like that as well, so everything is at your fingertips. And I've got another keyboard shortcut that I'll show you another time that's actually pretty cool, but it takes a lot longer to set up and it's a lot more involved. But I'll try to make that video here in the next week or two, and I'll get that one out of the way for you. Anyway, that's a cool keyboard shortcut that'll help you when you're doing query tuning. Good luck. I hope this helps.